All right, welcome in Monday edition. So we have a lot to look at. We always like to look back, what went right, what went wrong, but we should look ahead. That's why you're here. You want plays, you want bets. So we have that Monday night. And it's not just Monday Night Football in the NFL. There's a sneaky spread that may not make a lot of sense to some people out there. I don't know what Harry thinks, but I'm already in 2 times over on the college football game that is tonight. Now, look, 3 separate occasions to where the only explanation to what happened on Sunday is the NFL is rigged. That's it. Like, there's just now. Let me give you the 2 obvious ones, right, that we could talk about here, and then there's a subtle one that just doesn't make sense at all to me, unless this guy's in trouble. And I didn't read anything or see anything like John McMullen, right, didn't put out some column about Miles Sanders being in trouble. But that's probably the one that you didn't see or didn't think, like this guy not getting a touch until what, halfway, 2/3 through the second quarter.
Yeah, there was I think there was a lot of money on Miles Sanders props. That's the only thing that I can think of. I mean,
yes, so do I, because it was the easiest prop to bet on in that game because he's the definitive running back.
Yeah.
The Eagles win, blah, blah, blah. But what the freak was that?
Well, he did have that fumble too, and you know, credit to them because they went back to him after that.
But Harry, they didn't go to him the first time until did that not? Like, you didn't have that prop.
No, I did not. I did not. I didn't have any props, or you know, I only had the Eagles in a teaser.
But even like, I know Miles Sanders puts this tweet out, right? Harry's like, I don't care about your tickets or your fan or what have you. But don't you think fans were like, yo, what the hell's going on here?
Right.
Why isn't Miles Sanders touching the ball?
How is he not in the game plan? Seriously.
No, against a Chicago run defense, I definitely thought he was going to be running all over them.
But you had the Devontae Smith. Weren't you on Devontae Smith?
I did. Yeah. I hopped back on Devontae Smith, and of course, he lit it up yesterday. Yeah. He's now only 98 yards away from joining A.J. Brown in a 1,000-yard season.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Those two were dynamic yesterday.
Yep. I feel like a lot of people forget he was a Heisman winner. You know, like a lot of people overlook the fact that this kid was an absolute stud in college. And just because he's a little bit smaller size-wise, they think that he can't come out here and doing his thing. So
yeah, he does really nice work on the sideline, too, by keeping himself in bounds. You know, he does that tightrope stuff, gets both feet, you know, catching the ball as he's really good at body control.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, he's definitely.
All right, so that was one game.
That was one game, right?
Okay, what else? What else caught your eye?
Was in because I guarantee you that it was like 100. Nobody was betting the unders on Miles Sanders rushing. All right. The second, and look, both of these games, you and I, respectively, with New England and Sunday Night Football, benefited from, right? So you were on the Patriots, and I had a same game parlay of the.
No, Giants. I was on the Raiders.
Oh, pardon me, the Raiders.
Yeah, I was on the Raiders.
You had, and I think it was a teaser, right?
Yes, and in a teaser.
Okay, so you needed them to win by at least 1, is what I remember.
Right.
And I had the Giants in a same game parlay plus 7.5, which was fine, no issue there. But the total was under 41.5, right? So if the 2-point conversion goes, right, let's just work in reverse. If that 2-point conversion goes, now it's 20-20, and my under 41.5 is busted unless they tie again, which you knew wasn't going to happen.
Right.
So, yes, that was pass interference in the end zone.
Oh, my God.
Yes. They called them, like, the most egregious thing you could call is a legal formation on a veteran wide receiver who in the replay, fellas, checked twice.
And I heard him after the game talking to the reporters in the locker room, and he detailed it really, you know, respectfully. I mean, he didn't want to get fined, and he even said that, but he's like, look, I've been lining up in that same spot and go back and check the tape all game long. And then I checked with him, and I checked with him twice, and he said, I'm good. And then they threw the flag for illegal formation. And then, like you said, Samuel was mugged in the end zone.
Totally mugged.
That is a fix. That's an anti-Dan Snyder fix if I ever saw one.
Yes,
because they don't want Washington in the playoffs because he's selling the team.
Unbelievable.
Can I play devil's advocate for a second?
Yeah,
Eitan
You're a Giant fan.
Yes, but I know Eitan loves the NBA. And now, how many times on NBA buzzer beaters do they call a foul on the shot, say a 3-point attempt, to win the game? You very rarely see those types of plays. They kind of like to just let it play out. I understand that he was hugging him a little bit,
Okay.
but I can kind of understand the no call.
He
Right,
practically jumped on his back.
Yeah, but real quick, even if you're right, which okay, I can somewhat meet you like a quarter of the way. There is no way in hell, contrarian, devil's advocate, whatever you like, you can get Keanu Reeves and who is it, Al Pacino from devil's advocate. It doesn't matter. There's no way you can explain away that McLaurin call.
No,
and what else do we say?
That was egregious.
To your point, Matt, what do we always say about the NBA? It's fixed.
Yeah, that is
it's
rigged.
Look, the most egregious of them all was the NFL trying to rig it so that the Raiders would win with a ridiculous call in the end zone when that kid was clearly out and they give him. So finally, somebody went over, right? Somebody must have went over to the Patriots sideline and said, look, you guys need to start playing ball here. Like somebody needs to do something. Somebody must have buzzed Jacoby Myers. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
It was a tie game.
I know. I know. It was absolutely ridiculous. It really was.
Harry, you've never won a bet better than that. Ever.
No, I know. It was amazing. And then how about the Jets? That was a crazy game too, because I was bitching to you guys on the text chain about how boring these games were. In the first half of the 1 o'clock window was horrendous. And then the witching hour, as Scott Hansen likes to call it, the whole league went nuts.
Full witching.
Yeah.
It definitely did, man. Full witching on that. I mean, it was insanity. All right.
So, how about those Saturday games, though? I mean, that Minnesota comeback was absolutely absurd.
Poor Jeff Saturday, right? Like,
well, here's the thing. Of all the crazy shit that happened in that game, Matt Ryan still covers the initial spread, which is wild, right? So think about that. Like, I had Minnesota -4 going into that game. I had to I live bet Minnesota at 7.5, never thinking it would get as bad as it did. And then it was not nearly as bad as 33-0, but I doubled down. That, poker, they say monkey tilt, right? You ever heard that phrase? Like, I thought I was going to start monkey tilting the Minnesota game and just throwing money in there. Like, fuck it, here's more money. Fuck it, here's more money. So I hit them at plus 620 when they were down just a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, the ultimate kicker would have been if Matt Ryan still didn't cover the spread, but he's got that working for him. I don't know if you're Matt Ryan, like, how do you come back from the Super Bowl defeat and then that defeat?
I know, 28-3 at halftime, and then 36-7, 33-0. I mean, I wasn't watching the game until I came home in the fourth quarter. I finally found out that it was on the NFL Network, and I put it on, and Minnesota was down 8. And it was just unbelievable television. And then the Baltimore game, that was awful.
Yeah,
how bad was Baltimore? My God, I hope they don't win another game. They don't deserve to.
Well, it looks like Lamar's back this week because the line's reflecting that. But look, let me tell you, that killed me. You want to talk about the worst? I had three different plays. One was an alternate line. The other two were teasers each at 9.5 with Baltimore. So to lose that was just gut-wrenching.
That's a killer.
Yeah. I mean, look, we move on.
And how does Buffalo? I'll tell you, there was something that I saw that's going to rear its head in January against the Bills. They gave up 188 yards on the ground to what we consider more of a finesse football team in Miami at home in the frigid cold temperatures. That was really startling to me.
Yep. No, you're right.
Yeah, I feel like we've been saying that multiple weeks now, that we're coming on and kind of picking at Buffalo, kind of saying, you know what, maybe they're not the powerhouse team that we thought they were.
Yeah.
And honestly, I got to give credit to Miami's defense because they were holding strong in that rough snow. They were playing very solid.
The fumble was huge.
Yeah.
Wilkins, I think, did he cause the fumble or did he just pick it up? But he was a beast on that Miami line.
He was all over the place.
The guy out of Clemson. And what was the other thing? Oh, yesterday, Butker is another one. And you pointed it out, Eitan, on the text chain. He is a risk.
Yep.
In January, windy days, you need a field goal of 45 to 50 yards. He is no bargain.
No, I tell you, who else is that as well, Harry? Right in that same vein is Jake Elliott.
Yeah.
The Eagles, I mean, at this point, why even punt or kick for the rest of the year? Even if it's 4th and 3 on your own 25, you're telling me that you can't get it?
Just run that sneak play. They usually get 3 or 4.
Where they push him behind?
Yes.
I love that. I love that, man. Oh, my God. All right, let's look at this tonight. We've got Monday Night Football here, so I don't know what you're getting in on And we have Monday Night Football 2 times over, right? So on the 12th, I told you I got in the Rams +8. So I'm locked in there with the Rams +8. I also did this. I pushed the Rams to +14.5. I went over 39.5 in the alt total there. You're under 41.5. So I think, covering that, this is going to be a sneaky scoring game to where it's probably going to be in the mid 40s. And then to make that same game parlay worth something in like the 400 range, I added Van Jefferson 40+ receiving yards, mainly because down or up, Baker Mayfield's not handing the ball off. They're going to throw the football. He's healthy now, and I think he's just a guy that they are going to stretch with. 40 receiving yards is not a bunch for him. I know that it's been up and down, but I'm not looking at game logs with Matthew Stafford or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I'm with you. Akers under 55.5 rushing yards looks good to me.
Yeah.
In fact, according to NFL Prop Analyzer, he is 13-3 to the under that total in his last 16 games.
Interesting.
And on the other side of that, Baker Mayfield over 188.5 passing yards. According to the same site, he's 19-6 to the over of 188.5 in his last 25 games.
I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely intriguing. I was looking just first half wise because I've been looking at all of these first half primetime games and just how slow of a start they seem to all get out to. It seems like every one of these big games just is only fourth quarter scoring. So I was looking at a first half total. It's sitting at 19.5, so pretty relatively low off rip, but I like it for -110. I feel like we're just going to be seeing field goals. I don't anticipate the Rams coming out and being this high octane offense in Lambeau. It's cold. They had that good game last week, but then again, it was in SoFi, so it was warm over there, and it's just kind of not their conditions now, obviously.
No Aaron Donald either.
No.
That makes a difference. And not that I think the Packers are that good, but I think the Rams are also that bad. So I'm going to take the under of 19.5 for the first half total.
Look, I think you said something, though, and this is what I played. And to be fair, I'm playing these all the time on primetime games. Didn't hit last night, but that's because there was a stupid penalty on Washington that allowed the Giants to score that Barkley touchdown. But yes, both teams, one or more field goals in the first half tonight is +145.
Ooh,
that's high. We talk about this prop all the time, and it sits usually like 125 to 135. I think I remember seeing it at like 140. 145 tonight is just too high for me to pass up.
Well, that goes right in line with Matt's
that's what I'm saying,
play.
right?
Yeah.
Low scoring first halves, field goals, prime time. Everybody's expecting. Now, I think you can still get over 39.5. Don't get me wrong, but that's where you see second half stuff to that point there. Now, I did tease Buffalo -1, and I bought out of Cincinnati, not Cincy NFL, but not Cincinnati, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
So I have a Buffalo -1, Mississippi State +8.
When's that game?
That's the Mississippi Mike Leach Bowl.
When is that?
That's like 2 weeks from now, right?
Oh, okay. Because there's a game this afternoon.
Well, yeah, it's UConn, Marshall.
Right.
I'm on UConn.
That's a big number. That's a big
gigantic.
It really. Now, if you go back and look at UConn, I know they've had a nice year with a new coaching staff, and they made the bowl, and they're an independent, but they lost to some pretty bad football teams.
Yes, they have.
And Marshall, beat Notre Dame early in the year and is on like a 4 or 5 game winning streak coming into this game. So, I like the under. If I got to play that game, I'm going to go under 40.5.
Well, look, I think that plays here. UConn's not winning a 55-50 game. They don't have the capability, the firepower to do that. I think this type of game is weird, right? Where is this game?
Myrtle Beach, I believe.
Right, it's Myrtle, right?
Yeah. So it's going to be cold and windy.
It is, but you can get into trouble even in December down in Myrtle, like, the dueling piano bar, whatever it may be.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely. After a nice day on the links playing 36.
Yeah, you get out there. The point, though, is that, look, UConn doesn't know any better. Marshall probably feels slighted, right? Like, Marshall probably feels they deserve to be in a better bowl. UConn's just happy to be alive playing football right now. So 12 points is just a lot.
Actually, it's going to be in the high 40s. Partly sunny.
I'm telling you, man.
So
it's
not
spring
bad.
break capital of the year or country.
And the wind's 10 miles per hour.
It's not a gigantic slate for the NFL by any means. Did you do anything before we look at anything before we get out? Look ahead stuff. There's some NBA action that I wanted to throw out tonight, but
well, I have a look ahead.
Me
teaser.
too.
I just have a look ahead teaser in the.
All right. Well, why don't you guys go and then I'll end where I am on because I have a couple of look aheads that I jumped into.
All right. Well, I'm going to take the Eagles up to +7 on the road at Dallas as a 1-point underdog, and then I'm going to take my Raiders. The Raiders, they are coming +2 up to +8.
The Raiders,
against the Steelers
in
the Immaculate Reception anniversary game.
Yeah,
that could be such an ugly game too. Like the potential of that.
Oh, have you seen the card for Christmas Day?
Yeah,
it's 3 of the worst games you could ever imagine.
It's almost on purpose.
Like Denver is playing the Rams, for God's sake. Who wants to watch that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that one's really bad. I was just looking right now, looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars and how hot they are. You can get their -1.5 right now against the Jets for +100. So I really like that. Trevor Lawrence is absolutely incredible at covering spreads this year, and they're hot. You know, they're figuring it out in that offense.
I got to give Doug P credit. He's done a nice job with Trevor Lawrence. He's getting coached. You can tell. I watched a lot of that game on the red zone yesterday, and he had that big fumble where he was trying to make too much of a good play on that scramble. He probably should have just slid in hindsight, but man, he's competing hard and at a high level right now.
Yeah, especially you could tell he's getting better every week too. That's the big thing with young quarterbacks and head coaching, that they want to make sure as long as you're improving week by week, you know, it's good in their book. And then another one that I was looking at was the Seattle Seahawks +10 against the Chiefs. I know this one's in Arrowhead, but I feel like the Seahawks are due for a competitive game. Not that I necessarily think they're going to come out and win, but I feel like that 10 is just too high of a number for me not to back Pete Carroll and all of them. So I feel like they're just relatively due for an offensive kind of bust out game. Tyler Lockett is going to be playing in this one too, so they're going to have everybody back, and they're hoping to have a full offense.
Wow.
All right, so let me go back. When was the last time the Jags were on the road? Was it 2 weeks ago, right? Because while he's covering, I just want to go back. I don't like this team covering spreads on the road. And
they were in Detroit.
They were at Tennessee. Week 14, they were at Tennessee. So last week's at home. So this is Lawrence's now granted, he's 1-13 career, the one this year. He's 3-11 ATS on the road. All right. And you can look at this year as a change for sure. The lone win, though, right? He's 3-11 ATS, but you're going to have to essentially win this game in order to cover that spread. So he's 1-13 straight up with the one win coming week 3 at Los Angeles against a Chargers team that was down a lot. So I'm on the other side, Cherico. I jumped in early on the Jets money line because I thought this thing might pick up a little bit, and people would look at regression back from Jacksonville struggling on the road. So I jumped in on the Jets money line. So let's see how this thing plays out here as we get closer for sure. The other one that I threw out, Bengals, Lions. This is just a money line parlay. All right. I'm not messing with the spread in New England, and I'm not messing with the spread in Carolina. I'm just get 2 teams that are hot and 2 teams that are clearly dealing with momentum and a sense of urgency. Cincinnati to win the division, Detroit to make the playoffs, against 2 teams that I don't know what New England is, but Matt Patricia is going to kill this football team, or somebody on the field is going to kill the football team. And then like you, Harry, I jumped on a teaser too. And this is what I did because I took both of your points and put this teaser together ahead of time on 2 different games. First one is just the Titans. Titans are down to a pick 'em. I don't trust the Titans anymore, but I trust them to beat the Texans, even if it's by 1 point. All right. So the Titans are down to 0. The Chiefs have been moved down to -3. You cannot trust Kansas City now 2 straight weeks, especially after that game against Houston. And I pushed the Eagles up to 8.5 because I don't know. On the road, 2-point conversion. Like Nick Sirianni's a crazy dude. So I got him at 8.5. And that was the other one that I looked ahead to. All right.
Very good.
I think we're stacked here.
Yes, we are.
Here. Yeah.
Now, what about the NBA? Go
ahead.
Are you guys going to dazzle us on the NBA?
Well, I got to put together the round robin. for the Discord. I didn't get a chance to do that quite yet. So
round robin, they've been hitting. I saw they've been cashing out for you.
They don't count because I'm not giving them out here. But all right, let's Matt, what do you have tonight? I have two sides. That's all I'm dealing with.
Okay, I'm looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, covering the -6.5 against the Jazz at home. I think we saw the best of the Jazz in the first 2 weeks of the NBA season, and now the Cavs are finally starting to kick up again and realize that they have this kind of all-star potential in just a 9-man rotation. I feel like a big thing with the NBA is they want to play too much of their bench when there are literally just 9 guys on the team, and that's all you need, So I feel like they're good to cover that -6.5 tonight at home. And then I was also looking Portland Trailblazers and OKC Thunder over 227 for the team total or the game total, just because I feel like we've been seeing such high octane offense going into Christmas Day. I feel like it's been set up for a lot of highlights per se, and Adam Silver's seeing what the NFL is doing, and I feel like he's kind of pushing back in a sense because NBA ratings have been down so far the first 2 months, and we're seeing a lot of overs within the past week and a half, to which I think he wants more offense. He wants more 3-pointers, more dunks, more highlights, so he can start bringing people back for when the new year comes. And I think Portland and OKC could be a product of that.
A lot of points.
Yeah.
A lot of points. I could also give you one more if we're looking. I'm looking at the Milwaukee Bucks going up against New Orleans Pelicans. I have Giannis Antetokounmpo to give a double-double and get the win. That's at +154. And the Bucks are hot again. The Bucks are probably the best team in the league. They just are getting Joe Ingles back relatively soon, and they're going to be rolling on all cylinders. I think Giannis dominating against a team that doesn't necessarily have a 5 that can hold him, right? His matchup is going to be against Jonas Valanciunas. I think that's going to be great for him one-on-one. They're not going to really want to give him Zion Williamson in the paint just because it's kind of too much of a wear and tear risk on Zion. So I think
plus foul trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to stick Giannis onto Jonas Valanciunas. I think he should get that double-double relatively easily.
Nice. I like the Wolves +3.5. You're not going to get Gobert, so that's definitely swinging it that way. Luka's playing hurt. Minnesota, there's also this expectation of regression because they just put up a $150. But the reality is it's not like they didn't need confidence. They needed shots to fall. So you've got guys like Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell to a lesser extent. I know they're missing a couple of big guys up front, but the reality is that when shots are falling, that can carry into a team. Look, Tim Hardaway Jr. is playing maybe through illness. Luka Doncic is playing through a quad injury. Dallas on the road as a favorite. I don't like that, so I'll take the 3.5 there. The other one, and this one I'm amazed that it's not a little less, but still, everybody's out. This is the biggest trap of the night, is to lay 7.5 with Portland. So I'll take 7.5 at home. That's a key number. I'm just over that half at 7 where things start to go blowout mode. But nobody's playing for Oklahoma City. I love games like this because Portland 2 times over, right? Portland goes into this thinking, I don't even know who this guy is that's guarding me. I didn't even know this guy was in the NBA. On top of that, I believe it's 22 points that Dame Lillard needs in order to pass Clyde Drexler.
Yes.
We saw this with Steph. Remember when Steph was chasing that 3? He got tight. The team got tight. They struggled to score at first. So either Damian Lillard's going to come out absent, passive, and just try to, let other guys get in there and slowly get it, or he's going to come out like Russell Westbrook and just take brick after brick after brick. I think it's enough for the Oklahoma City Thunder to stay in this game. Live dog at home +7.5.
Wow.
I like it. All right. And that could honestly feed into the over as well, being that it's going to be a competitive game back and forth. So let's ride.
I think you're on to that.
How about this matchup tonight? Any you guys are interested in Bob Jones going up against Gardner Webb? How about that?
Bob Jones.
Bob Jones University has a basketball team. Who knew?
Harry, I'm telling you, I've never seen more made-up schools than pre-conference college basketball.
It's unbelievable.
It's insane. You've got teams that have just been created online.
Yeah.
And they're fielding like 5 or 6 guys at the Y.
Yeah. And I thought that was the case in that football team, Incarnate
Word. No, but they turned it around.
Yeah, but they're actually half decent.
Yeah, but you know what though? They did start out as a makeup school.
Yeah.
And then they found a way. I don't know. Like you're right. That's exactly who I was thinking of. I don't think their basketball team is caught up yet, right?
No.
Saying this is like that Bishop Sycamore type of deal.
I think so. I think so.
Awesome. All right. Oh, I'm going to leave you with this. All right. Stat of the day here. Okay. This is insane. If you're thinking about what's going on with the Rams, all right? If the Rams can force, and it's hard because the Packers don't turn the football over, right? Or at least Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw interceptions. But Baker Mayfield is 19-5 straight up, 15-8-1 against the spread in the regular season when his defense, no matter what team he plays for, causes 2 or more turnovers. When they don't, he's 12-29 straight up, 9-31-1 against the spread. Right. Now, this is working in his favor. Mayfield is 11-20-1 against the spread versus teams that finish the season ranked 19th or better in opponents' yard per pass attempt. Green Bay is right now 21st. So there may be some wiggle room. That's all I'm saying. If you have a free bet, put it on the Rams money line.
So what you're saying is Mayfield's only good when he gets 2 extra possessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to give Baker Mayfield a handicap.
On a short field.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Good thinking there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you Wednesday.